Too many times, I've talked about us improving. We are improving. We haven't been able to get the job done in a long period of time, as you know. So when you're in a situation like this, you have to look for some small steps that you're taking. We want to take big steps, but you do have to look for some of the small steps. This past week, winnable game. And there's been a lot of winnable games that we've had. Some areas of our team improved, but not enough. Talking offensively, when you can't run the football, it's just tough duty. When a team makes you a one-dimensional team right away. So not being able to establish the rush, turning the ball over as many times that we did, not being able to protect the quarterback as well. It's going to be tough to move the ball. That being said, we got ourselves back in the game, after the half. Lewis Darcy, Ricky Smalling, we had a couple of young players that stepped up, but not enough. Defensively, our defensive line did some good things throughout. Front seven did for the most part. Our linebackers also, to keep them down. Some big passing plays really, got us out of whack a little bit. But when you get it to a 14-17 game in the fourth quarter, and that's been a constant we've talked about not being able to get over the hump. But we'll keep fighting. Another great opportunity ahead of our players for our football team this week, going to Ohio State, a place I spent a little bit of time in. Of course, we know the history behind them. They're a good football team, as much as anything, on both sides of the football. So it will be a big challenge. We're a little banged up. Should get some players back this week, maybe lose a few more. Our routine, of course, there's no practice today, so we'll evaluate the group. Tomorrow we'll be able to let you know more about who will be available for the game. Take your question.
Lovie, your year at Ohio State, what stuck out about being there for a year?
That was Jeremy. I used to have hair back then, and was a lot younger back then. Didn't have grandkids back then. I have 11 now, so a lot of things have changed. But when you're there, it's one of those traditional programs. A lot of history behind it. I know I got a chance to coach on an excellent football team back then. Having a chance to coach on one of my college coaches that I played for, too, in John Cooper, who's an outstanding football coach. But don't remember an awful lot about it. Eddie George won the Heisman Trophy that year. I remember that.
What's been your interaction with Urban since he's had so many prospects and you were in the NFL? How did you guys get to know each other, or do you know him very well?
Well, I know him that way. Urban Meyer's been a good football coach, whether it's Utah, Florida, of course, Ohio State now. So he has had a lot of good players, and just not good players he's had. He's a good football coach, excellent football coach, really. Offensively, what they do cause you a lot of problems. Mobile quarterback in Barrett that can do an awful lot. Mobile quarterback that can throw, I might add. Excellent runners, good offensive line. But defensively, you look at their starting up front, excellent front. A lot of good athletes there. Greg Schiano does a great job with their scheme. So big challenge for us this week.
Coach, what's your message, especially the young players who might be daunted going into the horseshoe and all that goes into that and 100,000 people on the road?
Well, it's 100,000 there. I don't know if they know all that. No, I'm just kidding with you. I think the guys are more looking for it. When you're a young player, you're looking for a great opportunity. And where we are in our season, with 2 games left to go, of course you play your rival the last game of the season at home, but your last away game is playing against an opponent like this. Our freshmen have been in a lot of first-time situations this year that were exciting for them, and I think it'll be the same. I know it'll be the same way for them this week. So it's more about looking forward to the opportunity as much as anything.
Do you have any update on Cam Thomas?
Not right now. We have to. He's. Last game he didn't play. So until I'm told otherwise, he's out. We'll see how it goes this week. We've been together a long period of time. A lot of games, I see. Ran out of questions asked. Jeremy is going to be the lead. Bell cow today. Yes, Jeremy.
Given your record of the last 2 years.
Yes.
I get asked a lot, just where's this program at? So I'll ask you, just what do you think and what do you see coming ahead?
Well, I think first off, your record says where you are as a program. In the end, that's what everybody's looking to. So if you look at that, that's what we are. Our record is it this year also. But as you look a little bit deeper on where our program is in a lot better shape than what it was. And I think you have to look at which way you're trending. I think it's safe to say that we're trending upward. We played a lot of young players, have gotten valuable time, but have improved as football players. So cannot wait for us to finish up the season the right way. And we've taken steps, and eventually we're going to get over the hump. So that's why our program is a program that's on the rise, and the future is looking bright on the field, off the field, new facility. There's a lot of things to get excited about. Our recruiting is going well, like it did last year. So I think people are still see the direction we're heading, and I think they want to be a part of that. Well, I think that's enough. And I think you go into everyone. You want to show improvement, but we want to find a way to win. And that's been our goal each week, though. From week 1 to 2, improvement for all of us, coaches, players, everybody involved with the program, to trying to find a way to win. And that won't change at all.
Coach, you're going to be able to add a coach here later on. Do you have a guy in mind or somebody or a couple people in mind?
We have some, you always have a list of people, coaches at every position that you're looking at. And it's a little bit different because we're adding a total position. Had a chance to put a lot of bit of time into that. I have an idea what direction we're going to go, absolutely. Kind of see how it plays out and who's available too. Sure. But, yes, have an idea.
Would that person be in place before recruiting is done? Or
we'll kind of see as soon as we can get the first day as soon as we can get that player in place, of course, when it's okay to add that guy to the staff, we'll try to do it. At the end of the season, too, there's a lot of things. Of course, adding another coach, that's an important step for our program. Excited about the early signing period, too, to see who we can get on board right away and see how those numbers add up as we bring in another class.
Different as a head coach now, as a college head coach, than when you came in March of 2016?
Any different? Well, I know a lot more about our situation here. Know the roster, Initially, I didn't look at the roster before, we came to an agreement on me becoming the head football coach here. We were going to start from day one, establish where we are, and start building from there. Know a lot more about our situation, but not a whole lot has changed. Not like football hasn't changed an awful lot. I think we know the college game a little bit more on, as a whole, on how offenses, I think that's a different from where I've been most of my career is offensive football. I don't think defensive football has changed, but how teams attack you offensively has been a change.
Lovie, you made the decision to go with all the freshmen, and we've watched that too, and trying to assess their progress. Has it been harder or more frustrating to do that given the injuries? So many of those young kids have gotten hurt, not just them, but, at the running back position, we've had a couple fall by the wayside there.
I think first we have to go back to, I'm asked that a few times, we made the decision to go with so many young players. No, after last year and through the first year, we evaluated our roster. We needed to make improvements. The only way we can make improvements were with freshmen and the few upperclassmen that we brought in. That's what it is as much as anything, instead of, hey, we're going to go with all freshmen. That hadn't been the case. And we knew the position we would be in, where we would play a lot. I didn't really add the number I don't even know what the numbers are on how many freshmen we played. I know we played a lot. But that's where we are. That's where we were. That's where we are right now. And that's a long time ago. I've seen these guys grow up more and more. And still steady improvement from our young players. Lewis Darcy took another step. Ricky Smalling, Jamal Woods. We go down the list. Nate Hobbs. These players are just getting better and better. So I'm really excited about that.
I guess maybe counter to that is you have just kind of a small handful of guys that are looking at the last 2 games of their college careers. Have you seen maybe that revelation kind of set in with your seniors that their time is kind of limited now?
Well, you know that it's coming as much as anything. Have I seen, guys reminiscing and no, I haven't seen that an awful lot and start reflecting, no, but you are. And you don't know just from going through it and seeing so many players having a chance to go through their last days of college football. I think it sets in more when you have your last Dad's Day, last homecoming. So there's been a lot of steps along the way, but now you're down to your last away game and your last home game. It'll set in even more. And what you want is for players to have fond memories. You remember the last thing you do. And I want these players to just play their best games they played of their career, their last game.
Last year you had spring ball very early,
Yes.
early in the winter. Is the plan to do that same thing this year?
You want us to tell you when spring ball right now, Bob? Give you that information? As soon as we can, we will. We have our plan in place. Need to finalize a couple more things, but not as early as we did last year, I can tell you that.
You talked about the 10th assistant. How much is college or NFL experience? How important is that to you?
It's a good football coach. That's what's important. Good football coach, that's a great teacher, communicator, guy that can recruit. That's how I've looked at every position we've hired as much as anything, and we'll keep that same profile of what we're going to find in this 10th coach.
Coach, I guess given the absence of Dudek and Turner, how have guys like Reams and Davis kind of responded to a bigger role recently?
They've responded, and that's what's kind of neat to see players taking advantage of opportunities. Caleb Reams hasn't gotten a chance to play an awful lot, whether it's tight end. We kind of made the switch to give him a little bit more wide receiver reps, and he's embraced it. Been a special teams player, done everything we've asked him to do, but you want guys to, make a play like that, to really feel good about what you're doing. So that's been a constant for us. With injuries, we've had to shuffle guys, and we'll shuffle some more this week, but your role changes weekly, and you have to know that, as you come in.
Staff and some of the guys he's uncovered.
He's meant a lot. And I knew that coming in. When I initially brought James on board, we had a history together. I've been in draft rooms, seen how he's evaluated, found players and players he said could play, how they end up, their careers. So I knew what we were getting with him, and have been very pleased with Pat Embleton, Nate McNeil. There's a lot of players players that we found, and a lot of guys in that department just been, behind the scenes you don't know an awful lot about that put us in position for this next phase, this next season. We have recruiting season starting up.
I guess since we've mentioned Dudek, is there a chance he gets back?
It's not looking really good. Down to 2 games, so, we'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. Thank you.